we're going to be talking about sleep and what that has to do with neurotransmitters. So I'm going to start with a quote from my book that says, "Without enough sleep, we all become tall 2-year-olds." Now, if you've been around a 2-year-old who's tired, you understand exactly what that means, right? And that's by somebody named Jojo Jansen. We all become tired. We become grumpy. We become irritable, right? I'm gonna start out with this little testimonial from one of the clients that I have. It says, 2 nights ago, my 14-year-old son came into my room at 5:15 a.m. After spending the entire night awake, he was devastated, alone in the dark house, trying desperately to sleep. The early morning rays were just beginning to light up the silhouette of our eastern mountains, and all he wanted to do was sleep. I walked him into the kitchen, got him a glass of water, some calcium, and some positive sleep, amino acids. Within 15 minutes, he was comfortably sleeping after the longest night of his life. And that was a testimonial by Sarah Johnson and what that does for you. There's another one. This was from Michael Anderson. Overall, the amino acid targets exactly what they say they do, and I can feel the amino acids positively shifting my brain chemistry. At night, I find my mind still thinking about the day's issues. This mental churn can keep me up at night. I found that Tryptophan positive sleep quiets my mind and is much easier to fall and stay asleep, with me feeling more refreshed in the morning. Thank you, Michael, for saying that. Yeah, that's what happens. If you're trying to go to sleep and your mind just keeps racing, it's kind of like not able to turn it off. So it just keeps turning and turning and turning. And at the meantime, you're turning and turning and turning all over in your bed. And you could even be counting sheep, and it's just not working. Well, it could be because your serotonin is low. It needs something. To help it. Now, there's always a recommendation, and everybody's different. Little children need 10 hours of sleep. Some adults can handle 5 to 6, some need 7 to 8. But there's an amount where you feel good at when you wake up in the morning and you feel like you're rested. And when you don't get that because you can't get that sleep, or you wake up in the middle of the night, it makes it hard to wake up in the morning and get going. Sleep is essential for the well-being of both the body and the human mind. Skipping sleep for longer periods can lead to severe mental disorders and chronic fatigue. The lack of motivation and even depression are linked to sleep deprivation. Getting a good night's rest allows our bodies and brains to regenerate and refreshen up to a dog and cat are after each other. To refreshen up for the following day. This restoration process is what helps your body recuperate from all the day-long activity and stress. Be sure to go to bed on time and leave all distractions aside as soon as you get sleepy. You'll be healthier and in a better mood in the next day. And that comes from the sleep advisory from sleepadvisory.org. Yes, guys, sleep is essential. You all know that. I don't have to tell you that. You know that your body needs sleep, right? But like I said, sometimes we're not able to turn it off. Now, it could be because you're not able to convert serotonin to melatonin. It also could be that you may have too much cortisol in your body. So if your body gets flipped around, or your adrenals become fatigued, and your cortisol, which is supposed to be high in the morning and supposed to go down at night, doesn't. So what happens is you wake up in the morning and your cortisol is low, and then you get this extra boost before you go to bed. That means your cortisol is out of whack. If you fall asleep, wake up in the middle of the night with some insomnia, could be a cortisol issue. I'm not here to diagnose or even tell you that it is. I'm just letting you know some things that can make it hard to go to sleep. Well, how do you fix it? L-tryptophan is amazing, amazing, amazing. It is an essential amino acid. Means that your body does not produce it at all, and you need it. The only way you can get L-tryptophan is through food or through a supplement. Now, the kind of foods that help build or raise your bring tryptophan into your body are things like salmon and poultry, eggs, milk, spinach, seeds, nuts. Those are the things that create tryptophan. You know that feeling come Thanksgiving when you've had this big turkey dinner and all you want to do is nap? Yes, tryptophan is in turkey. Tryptophan converts to 5-HTP. 5-HTP is the one that your body actually produces. But the challenge is sometimes it's not producing enough of it. And then 5-HTP turns into serotonin. Serotonin turns into melatonin. So that's kind of what it looks like. Tryptophan, number 1. 5-HTP, serotonin, and melatonin. And that's how it works. Sometimes it's hard to get tryptophan, like I said, because only way you get it is through food or supplements. Now, there was one study found that when tryptophan levels were lowered, long-term memory performance were worse than when the levels were normal. Additionally, an extensive review found that lower tryptophan levels negatively impacted cognition and memory. Memory linked to events and experiences may be particularly impaired. Pretty cool. Pretty interesting, right? Now, I know that some people used to be afraid of L-tryptophan. So what happened is in the 80s, doctors were only using L-tryptophan for anxiety and depression. And the pharmaceutical company was trying to get them to use like Prozac and things like that. And they wouldn't because L-tryptophan was working so good that they didn't want to switch over to a medication. Unfortunately, there was a company, and I'm gonna get this right from you so you can see. In the late 80s, there was a company that engineered some L-tryptophan. And it was not safe. And it was actually promoted as the tryptophan that was natural. He made it look like it was, but he was actually manufacturing it. And unfortunately, it had something wrong with it. It wasn't safe and actually caused some problems. It actually caused some deaths and some disability. So tryptophan was then taken off the market, which was unfortunate because it was just that tryptophan that was causing the problem, but it caused the problem that the FDA pulled up. And at the same time that tryptophan was taken off the market, that's when the pharmaceutical companies swept in with Prozac, and doctors bought into it and started using Prozac instead, which was unfortunate because when they finally came back and said, yes, tryptophan is safe, by then, and that was in 2008, by then most doctors were already using Prozac and weren't willing to go back and start using tryptophan, which is pretty unfortunate. But you can know for certain that at least my tryptophan, which is called positive sleep, so you know what it means. And the reason it's called positive sleep is because tryptophan, for some people, most people, can be a little bit sedating. Not everybody. 5-HTP and tryptophan can be interchangeable. So if 5-HTP is not working for you, you can switch to tryptophan. You can mix and match it. But for most people, it can be sedating. So that's why I say take it at nighttime. My product is created in a GMP factory, which is called a good manufacturing practice. It's gluten-free, it's non-GMO, it's vegan, it's 100% natural. And it's amazing, amazing, amazing. But what that does is it goes in to take it before bed, and it helps to stop those racing thoughts. It's pretty cool. Now, the other issue, like we talked about, is high cortisol. So if you've got high cortisol in your system and you may be having a hard time going to sleep or staying asleep because of insomnia, then you can flip over and take some GABA. GABA helps your body relax naturally, and it also reduces cortisol. So by taking a little bit of tryptophan before bed, a little bit of GABA called GABA Chill, you can even take a little bit more GABA if you find yourself waking up in the night. It's going to help to let your body relax, and it's amazing. Now, the cool thing is at this point, they're also starting to use some 5-HTP and tryptophan on children. And they're finding that in low doses, it can make a difference for them. Now, if you have a concern, then tryptophan might be better because tryptophan doesn't raise cortisol at all, and it's going to help them. It's going to help them to feel better. One of the things that you want to be aware of is that if you are on an SSRI medication or MAOI, that kind of medication, you're going to want to talk to your doctor when it comes to using tryptophan or 5-HTP. Make sure they're on board. Make sure you're not taking them at the same time. Hey, Heidi, good to see you, girl. And make sure that there's some time period. It's better if you take it at least 5 to 6 hours away from when you take your medications. But I'm still going to tell you, talk to your doctor. Make sure they're on board. One of the really cool things that I just learned, the research is out, is for pregnant women and nursing mothers. For a long time, we were not able to even recommend it to them because they hadn't been tested on nursing mothers or pregnant women. Well, now they have. And what's come out is that tryptophan is actually better for 5-HTP. I mean, for women, nursing women or pregnant women, because it doesn't pass the blood-brain barrier. So it's a little bit more mild. It's not as strong as 5-HTP. But that is great news, great news, especially for mothers who struggle with postpartum, which my daughter did, which was so scary. There is hope. There is hope for anyone out there that may be struggling with postpartum or prepartum while you're pregnant. It's pretty cool. Anyway, I hope that you've learned something about tryptophan. I'm hoping that you're getting something out of these Feed Your Brain Fridays. It's a lot of fun for me. I love this. I geek out. I mean, it's like, really, all I have to do is feed my brain what it needs, right? Because normally the neurotransmitters become depleted because they're being malnourished. They're not getting enough of amino acids. Specific amino acids actually feed the neurotransmitters. By feeding them what they need, the great thing is within 20 minutes or less, you may feel a difference. It's amazing. Hey, Marnie, thanks for joining me. In the meantime, guys, it's Friday. I got things to do. I'm going to be headed to Pocatello to be speaking at an Energy Island conference. Keep smiling. Make it a great weekend. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I'd love to help you. In the meantime, remember Hypnoaminos. And I'm Shelly Jo with Shelly Jo Hypnoaminos, also known as Amino Acid Lady. Keep smiling. Love you. Bye.